Amana. By Budweiser, the king of beers, with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by Highland Potato Chips, the flavor of America's heartland. Coach, what a beautiful homecoming. A little round of applause there for you. And you and the Hawkeyes, and now you and Illinois are alone at the top, and you can solve all that next week.
Well, we have the opportunity, Jim, and, you know, it was a wonderful setting for our homecoming. Our marching band was awarded the John Philip Sousa Award. Of course, being an old Marine, I'm kind of prejudiced about that type of music, but we have an outstanding marching band. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Morgan Jones and all of the young men and young women that participate in the band.
Tremendous setting for a football game, and we're going to get right to the heart and soul of it. A little bit later on, we're going to be talking to defensive captain Merton Hanks. A lot going for you tonight in the Hayden Fry Show. You stay tuned. Started a homecoming weekend with a lot of bacon and eggs at the Johnson County I Club breakfast. I understand about 800 to 1,000 people out there.
You know, Jim, that's unbelievable, and I think pheasant season had opened too. It was a great get-together. A lot of alums, a lot of people that did not attend the University of Iowa, but they loved to identify with the Hawks, and some of the people there with the stories they have to tell are just fabulous. And, you know, let me say that Gardy Bohannon was there.
Oh, was he? Great.
He was there and made the introduction, and what a good-looking guy he was. He quarterbacked our first Rose Bowl team.
I know it. I don't think I've ever seen an Iowa team play a more perfect half in football, 35-0, and let's take a look at how it all happened. There's Big Nick Bell, who had 136 yards all in the first half.
Well, they didn't play in the second half, so if he got 136, it had to be in the first half. But you can see the tremendous holes that he's running through, and Nick's running extremely hard, but those guys up front had a mission. We hadn't moved the ball extremely well in the first quarter, and they went out with that mission, and you can see what happened.
Oh, man, did you ever do a job? No, this is just at halftime. You had 331 yards, including 217 on the ground.
Well, this is Nick running extremely hard the last 3 carries right up the middle. We were trying to pound on Northwestern to show them who's the boss. And, you know, that's really a load trying to tackle Nick Bell at 255 pounds.
Oh, man. He was running right over those guys.
It's an option play by our quarterback, Matt Rogers, who had another outstanding game. I think he completed 9 of 11 passes the first half.
Yeah, and you've gone 3 games now with no turnovers. That's terrific.
A lot of the guys had the flu and sore throat under the weather last week, Jim, and it's always remarkable how when you're young you can bounce back, you rehabilitate in a hurry. That's Bell in for the touchdown.
3 touchdowns for that guy in the first half. Incredible. So now we'll watch the Northwestern Wildcats, and what a notch you put on earth those guys had.
Well, we normally wait to the second half to really be outstanding on defense, but the first half, Northwestern made a total of 2 first downs and 20-something yards. 22 yards. And Christian, who got 319 against Wisconsin the week before, had 40 for the ball game against you. Excellent pressure all day long by Rulin and Johnson, a new starter at nose guard, Mike Wells, because Rod Davis had pneumonia. Leroy Smith, Santos. We started Teddy Joe Faley at linebacker in place of Melvin Foster. And both Wells and Faley, the 2 new starters, just did a super job.
And there he's Tony Stewart. What a great game he had again.
Excellent. That's the only drop ball we've had in the last 3 games, and fortunately it bounced right back up to Tony. We haven't had any turnovers, Jim, 3 straight games.
And there's Merton Hanks. What a job he did.
I tell you, it was a great break on the football. Merton anticipated the pass. It was a curl pattern, and as Merton says, he delights in making those kind of plays.
Sure does.
This is 3rd and long situation. Matt hitting Sean Smith over the middle.
9 for 11 for Rogers in the first half.
Right down on the goal line now. We fake inside, roll outside. That's Michael Tilley catching a touchdown pass.
Hello, folks.
Well, he's from New York. He was standing up with the ball over his head like a Statue of Liberty. Kajava for the 2-point play to make it 21.
Right, and there you see it, 14-0 for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They got 29 points in the second quarter. Ooh. And Bob Christian's going to remember that game a long time.
Well, we did everything we were supposed to do in the first half, Jim. Just tremendous defense. Jim Johnson, I think Matt Rulin led in tackles with 8.
Right.
All of the guys played well. And, of course, John Derby had another outstanding game.
And I think maybe the most significant thing defensively, Buchanan, who leads the Big Ten in receptions, didn't get a single catch in the first half.
Well, Coach Elliott and Coach Bulateg did a good job with the secondary and defensive ends outside. We had a lot of pressure inside. All of Coach Gill's people did an excellent job putting pressure. Back to offense, Nick Bell still hammering away. We get Tony Stewart in, and Tony runs as hard as I've seen him run all year.
He's back 100%.
Strike to Bell for another first down to keep our drive going. We were going into such a terrible wind that we tried to keep the ball on the ground. This is Kajava, just to cross him up, and he makes 12.
No, it's incredible. But that wind was gusting up to 51 miles an hour. You can't really see it.
Watch this.
Look at that.
Isn't that tremendous?
That's great.
Big tree trunks are hard to get a hold of.
He ran right over a couple of those Northwestern guys. Flatman.
Baxley and Miller and Agater, Devlin, Belliser, Davis, all those guys up front did an excellent job of blocking.
And they did a great feeling. Got practically all of them back next year and the year after that.
Excellent hitting along the line of scrimmage. I was real proud of our secondary. They really delivered some great open field tackles.
Great.
Dana Hughes had another excellent game as a wide receiver.
Number 3, boy, he sure did.
This is an excellent run by Stewart for 21 or 2 yards here, following his blocking.
Wow. These guys are running so hard. 371 yards on the ground, Coach, for the ball game.
Yeah, I think we had close to 400, Jim, and then we lost some yardage. We cleaned the bench the second half. Got a lot of valuable experience. And I don't know how they did that, really. That's what we call a fade pattern, but the wind was blowing so hard. I said I'm going to have to talk to Dana Hughes there on that little wiggle. But it was a perfectly thrown pass, and Dana laid out for the ball and got a touchdown. He did.
And we said the wind was gusting up to 51 miles an hour, which makes it very difficult.
We have Northwestern pinned up down deep there in the field. A lot of pressure, good coverage. When you see the quarterback have to scramble, you know that they're on top of it pretty good. Merton Hanks missed 3 days of practice and still had a super game.
That's great.
Wise, Olenzak, Polly. That's a shot to Dana Hughes again.
Right. Perfect pass.
Doug Book had another excellent game.
The big guy just keeps going, doesn't he?
I tell you, he's really unbelievable, Jim. You can imagine what the pro scouts think of Nick Bell.
As Ed Podolak says, he's not in the top, he is the top right now.
Well, you know, he can play running back, fullback, tight end.
Catch the ball.
He's got great hands. And beyond that, though, he's a marvelous young man. All of our guys are, but Nick has really matured and grown as a leader.
Well, you could just see the chemistry on that team and the blocking. Each guy blocking for the other guy, and people like Middleton coming on and really coming on strong.
Middleton, and we'll get a shot at Lampkin in the second half.
That's right. Well, you stay tuned, because the second half, a lot of fireworks there, too. Stay tuned for the Hayden Fry Show. What in the world do you tell them when you've had a perfect first half? It's hard to prove on that for an encore, isn't it?
Well, we actually did review what we'd accomplished the first half, because we were extremely proud. The big thing was not to let up. And we did let up a little bit defensively. The first drive Northwestern made in the ball game at the beginning of the second half. But we wanted to get in all of our young people, get some valuable experience, playing time, and we did, Jim.
Well, you went 3 and 4 deep at a lot of positions, didn't you?
And we cleaned the bench on everyone, other than the guys that we did not want to play because we're trying to redshirt them.
Okay, here we have second half. That wind is still powerful, but you can see nobody left the stands, about 70,000 people there.
This is an excellent drive by Northwestern, and it shows their capabilities of throwing and catching the ball, running hard, and that's our #1 defense in there, giving up the drive. So obviously we played with great intensity the first half. It's a natural thing for the guys to get ahead and then let up a little bit.
And you got a Northwestern team that scored 44 points the week before against Wisconsin.
That's true. He's throwing strikes. He's throwing to Buchanan, who's a tremendous receiver, and Williams an excellent passer.
Right.
Now that takes a lot of ability to get that off. He had 3 guys right in his face and still completed for a touchdown.
So the Wildcats finally get on the board here in the third quarter.
That got everyone's attention on defense. After that, yardage was hard to come by. Now we've got Tony Stewart, the fresh legs in there. We're resting Nick Bell the second half. And Stewart just continually makes excellent runs. See him bending it back, watch him in the open field here.
Just great.
Getting every yard that he can. John Falloon and Danon Hughes and all those guys did a great job blocking downfield. Pitley and Alan Cross had excellent games at tight end.
They sure did. And Stewart is running with the confidence he had when he started out here as a freshman.
Runs extremely hard. Tony is a very goal-oriented person, and he's got his mind made up to help us win every ball game we possibly can.
Down to the 5, and down to the 3.
Paul Kajawa, we even got to play Pete Middleton. This is Marvin Lampkin in for the touchdown.
The little guy, number 33, 5'9", and can he run, though?
He's got the quickest feet on the team. He's an excellent football player.
Okay, so the Hawkeyes in the end zone again, 42-7.
Still getting a lot of pressure. That's Big Mike Wells in the backfield. Mike, I thought for his first start, did an excellent job, and Bailey and Derby and Mike Daly all did an excellent job. Even Matt Hilliard got into the ball game and did well at linebacker.
Really going for the ball.
Jason Dumont made a few big plays for us. Maurier Crane got a lot of playing time. Of course, my two favorites on the second unit are Ron Gator from Marion. He'll get a kick out of me plugging Marion High School. And Jeff Nelson.
Yeah. Boy,
two excellent second-team tackles.
Just done a great job there. Hawkeyes with the ball again.
We've got a lot of this Jim Hartley been at quarterback. Excellent job of running for a first down. And Dave Turner's crew's in there. Dave's our center on the second unit. And Mike Ferroni and just goes on and on. Matt Quest is in there. Bob Reeves. Mike Miller stayed in and played some with the second unit. Look at the hole. Yeah, that's a little scooter.
Yeah, 5'9".
I tell you, he weighs 195, Jim, and he may look small, but he's a load to bring down.
Yeah, I'll bet you. Look at that.
That's Pete Middleton from Waterloo going in for the touchdown.
He's a load also, isn't he? About 238.
He's a pretty good-sized young man. Excellent running inside by Scooter Lampkin.
Great enthusiasm by these guys.
Matt Whitaker got some key blocks. Robert Baxley, we left him in some with the second unit to keep a little continuity going, and he had an outstanding game.
Okay, now here we have a nice pass there. I thought he was going to go all the way on this one.
Alan Cross with a great reception, great effort, right down on the goal line. I think Hartley was either 3 for 3 or 3 for 4.
He was.
This is Lampkin going in. Excellent blocking up front, and Pete Middleton leading the way. So, you know, it was very refreshing to get all those guys in.
Well, you had Lampkin with 2 touchdowns. Bell came up with 3 touchdowns. You just such a variety and great play on both offense and defense.
I think overall Matt had 10 out of 12 completions, and of course that's not throwing the ball very much, but he threw for a couple of touchdowns and overall played an excellent game.
Well, you really established that ground game, didn't you?
Tried to, Jim.
Not only tried to, you did. Well, one of the mainstays of the Iowa defense, which is superb this year, is Merton Hanks. And we're going to be back to talk with Merton right after this. To you about the science of blocking a punt, because you set an Iowa record in doing this already this season, and you still got some games to play. What's the thing you have to do? What's the thing you look for when you go into that 10-man or 9-man front?
Just the particular spot to where the punter is going to kick it instead of where he starts from. You'll notice that a punter take a 2-3 steps before he actually punts the ball and kind of rush for that spot. And I've been fortunate to get to a couple of those spots.
You sure have on a record number of times. What spot is this? What do you aim for? Because what you see a lot of times from the sidelines, or what the fan sees from the stands, is different than what you see down on the field.
Well, you basically measure out how far he'll be up the field from where he starts from after he catches the ball, and really just rush for that spot and get your hands up and keep your eyes on the ball.
And throw your body out there, right?
Throw your body out there.
Sacrifice your body, huh?
Part of the job.
Okay, well, now let's find out from you. You come from Texas. How'd you wind up in Iowa?
It's an interesting story. I had narrowed my decision down between Iowa and Arizona State at the time, and I had an Iowa shirt and I had an Arizona State shirt, and I didn't know what I was going to do in regard to my choice. And so I left it up to the Lord to put on my mind where I should be going.
Is that right?
And I went to sleep, and I woke up, and the Iowa shirt's the first thing I saw. So I called Coach Brazier and told him I'm coming.
It really happened that way, right?
It really happened that way.
Okay, well, we want to thank the Lord for that. He helped us get Merton Hanks. Now, let's find out from you, not only were you involved in football in high school, what else did you do down there?
I did a little bit of everything. Ran a little track, played a little basketball. The track season and baseball seasons kind of ran together, so you either had to run track or play baseball. So I kind of stayed away from the baseball aspect.
Now, what position did you play? Did you play cornerback in high school? Did you play offense or what?
I played offensive receiver and played cornerback and free safety.
You kind of miss offense a little bit, or are you satisfied?
No, I'm not an offensive-minded person.
You like to hit those guys, huh?
Yeah, that's the most enjoyable part of it.
What is the most enjoyable part of the part of defense? What do you like? Playing against the pass or the run or what?
Combination of both. I like the thrill of coming up and making a hit as far as the running game is concerned, and I like defending when they finally put the ball in the air. So I really don't have a favorite in regard to running versus passing. You know, you were one of the few seniors on this Iowa defensive secondary, which seems to me has come along very fast. How good can this secondary become, would you say? I think we developed tremendously after the Miami game, just realizing that if we don't give up big plays and big mistakes, that we can be competitive. And I think we've come a long way from that game. And really, we just have to continue to work hard, and sky's the limit. What about your future now, Melvin? What are you majoring in, and what would you like to do? I'm majoring in general studies, and I'll graduate this December, and all my emphasis coursework has been in communication studies and Afro-American studies. Basically, I'd like to get in the sales representatives positions. I've been trying to interview with a number of corporations as far as that end's concerned, so we'll see what happens. You like to stay in Iowa, like to work in Texas? I wouldn't mind anywhere I can get a job. Is this kind of an application right on the air now? Anywhere I can get a job. Hire this guy. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if he does half as well at that as you do at intercepting passes and blocking punts. Hey, Melvin, you're a great guy. Good luck to you. Well, thank you. And Merton, I should say. And you're doing a great job on defense. All righty. Appreciate it. Congratulations. All righty. Well, I got two defenders in there, Melvin and Merton. What a combination. What a guy, isn't it?
I got a letter the other day for Merton Hanks, and it was addressed to Martin Hawks. So he's used to that, Jim. Yeah. I mean, you kind of double talk every now and then yourself. But you just interviewed one of the finest young men in the world and a great football player.
Love that guy.
He's so wonderful. Inspirational. I've nicknamed him Reverend Hanks. When we're on the road, we don't have a preacher with us, and he conducts our chapel services. Right. And I tell you, he can quote every scripture in the Bible.
Well, he's taught a few people a lot of lessons, I'll say that, as far as playing defense is concerned. Oh, man, what a showdown is coming up over at Champaign. The shootout at Champaign, we'll talk about that with Hayden Fry right after this. You couldn't write a Hollywood script any more exciting than what's happening in the Big Ten. 4-0, you and Illinois, 6-1, only two teams left undefeated, and you collide head-on down at Champaign. What kind of a game is it going to be?
Jim, I really think it's going to be a great game. I know they had 18 starters returning out of 22 from last year, and they did go to a bowl game. They did win the bowl game, so they have an excellent football team. They've been playing extremely well. I think the come-from-behind victory over Colorado really gave Illinois a lot of confidence.
What sort of a team are they? Are they fundamentally a defensive team? Just how do you characterize them?
Well, you know, when you're 6-1, you have to be able to play excellent football on both sides of the ball and have an outstanding kicking game. And they were probably the best defensive team in the nation at the end of last season, and all but two of those guys returned. Mo Gardner and A.J. and that bunch, Brownlow, they're tremendous football players, and their defense dominates. But offensively, with Jeff George last year, they got a lot of attention. He signs for $15 million to go as a pro quarterback. And their quarterback this year, though, has been just as effective. So they have a tremendous football team.
What do you think you can do against them? You've demonstrated the last couple of games you can run the ball, and you can pass the ball, and you can kick the ball.
Well, that's what we'll have to find out during the game, Jim. Yeah. You go in like that, you never really know what they're going to feature from a defensive standpoint. But like I say, we're going to scratch where it itches. Whatever it takes, that's what we're going to do.
And your defense, of course, has come along tremendously well, too. You lead the Big Ten in a lot of categories.
Well, we have an excellent defense, and we'll have to be extremely good in this ball game. I think turnovers in the kicking game will be instrumental in the ball game. And there's always a big wind blowing in Champaign.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the crowd.
And the crowd, of course, will be, well, you'll have a lot of bumblebees down there, too, a lot of Hawkeye fans, too.
Well, you know, the Big Ten only permits to send 4,000 tickets, so we're a little bit outnumbered. They can seat around 76,000, 77,000 people, and we'll be outnumbered.
And you got a great field goal kicker. They have a great field goal kicker, don't they?
Jeff Skillet's done an excellent job for us, no question about it. And, you know, we're just going to have to get our values straight and get after it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can beat at Michigan up there, if you can beat Michigan State up there, let's go get the Illini. See if they can make a triple. The Hayden Fry Show, brought to you in part by Amana Refrigeration. When you know exactly what you want, Amana. By Budweiser, the king of beers, with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by Highland Potato Chips, the flavor of America's heartland. Set furnishings by McGregor's Furniture in Coralville, featuring a Thomasville gallery. Fine home furnishings since 1896.